some good news that just happened. Good news has just dropped in, y'all. Geno Smith has been released by the Las Vegas Raiders, and I cannot be excited more than how I feel right now, to be honest, as far as dealing with my team, the Las Vegas Raiders, because he's been terrible for my team. I gotta be honest, y'all. And it's not even before he got to our team, you know what I'm saying, the Las Vegas Raiders, but it was even before, from what I seen, as far as living over here, guys, in the Pacific Northwest, when I seen him face to face, when I went to a preseason game just to go, you know what I'm saying, enjoy football, festivities, and things of that nature. There was a lot of the things that I seen with the Raiders, man, is a lot of the things that I seen in that preseason game. And I'm not surprised. But what I am excited about is that Tom Brady's in the building, is that John Spikeheck is not playing no games, right? That Clint Kubiak coming in, being the head coach, already understands, has a football mind, and understands that this guy, Geno Smith, is not going to work, and he should have never worked for the NFL. It is what it is. And if you don't like what I got to say, I got it here for the proof to show you that it's never worked. And when I heard the news last year that, you know what I'm saying, that Pete Carroll had brought him in. Now, I'm not going to lie, y'all. When my friend Bez and my friend Josh, they can attest to this. When I first said that, hey, you know what? I'm kind of cool with Pete Carroll being the hire. They actually, you know what I'm saying, was like, all right, be careful. But I was actually happy with it until Pete Carroll decided to try to reunite the old days of the Seahawks and try to make my Raiders the Seahawks of old, with Marshawn Lynch and them boys and Russell Wilson and them boys and that Legion of Boom. No, no, it doesn't work. The league has evolved. So when Pete Carroll decided to bring in Geno Smith, I was definitely upset. And I'm going to be a little bit passionate, guys, on this live, unlike other lives, because this is dealing with my team. You understand? Again, I cover everybody. I cover all sports, but this is dealing with my team. So when it's dealing with my team, I get it. It's a little bit more personal. And I'm very excited that Geno Smith is gone. And I'm going to show you why. So let me just go ahead and just show y'all what's going on, right? As you guys see, Geno Smith has been released from my Las Vegas Raiders. And this is exciting news, man. Real time. Great move right before the free agency, because free agency is around the corner. And there's a lot of good free agents that we can acquire if we were to release somebody of this magnitude. Now, I understand this. I'm going to go into the money and everything in the breakdown, but understand this. As far as what this guy has done for us last year is abysmal. I mean, we're going to go through it. I'm not going to spoil it. But it's bad, y'all. It's bad. And I'm not lying. So you see, it's reported, right? Shout out, you know what I'm saying, to Fox Sports. But, hey, he's been released. And I'm happy. Now, I want to get into a little bit as far as what Mitchell Rentz, you know what I'm saying, who I think is the best Raiders reporter that we have alive. Keeping it 100. Make sure you guys subscribe to Raiders Report. Mitchell Rentz, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow him, as you know what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, I'm following. Okay, I'm just making sure. I didn't know what that was about. But make sure you guys follow him. Also search him, you know what I'm saying, on YouTube. Let's see what he has to say as far as this Geno Smith release, right? So check this out.
We got some big-time NFL breaking news. The witch is dead. The Las Vegas Raiders are moving on from quarterback Geno Smith. We knew that this was going to be a move that ends up going down.
Shout out, you know what I'm saying? Shout out my bro, man. Hey, look, shout out my dude. Shout out my big bro, you know what I'm saying? Cordero, you know what I'm saying? You already know what it is, fam. Fort City, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. Hey, he said good luck next season. He's a Broncos fan, guys. If anybody's watching, he's a Broncos fan. But he's a diehard Broncos fan. So this is why I respect him. See, there's a lot of fakes out there. You understand? There's a lot of fakes out there. There's a lot of people that claim, yeah, I'm a fan of this team. But then all of a sudden, like maybe 2 seasons later, they claim at another team. No. See, as Raider fans, right? True Raider fans, I can resonate, you know what I'm saying, with other fans that are actually true fans of the teams. Why? Because we are still fans even in the down parts of our seasons, the down parts, you know what I'm saying, of these years. And he says, good luck next season. He says, y'all been rebuilding for years. I understand that. We have. But see, the thing is, the reason why we've been rebuilding for years, Roro, is because of the fact that we don't have a quarterback. I mean, the last time I seen you, we was drafting Jamarcus Russell. What are we talking about? We was drafting Jamarcus Russell. He stole money. I don't know what to say. But at the end of the day, we learn, we live, and we learn from our mistakes. You understand? And we've learned from our mistakes, just like the Broncos have. Because I can go down a lot of years that y'all drafted the wrong quarterbacks. I mean, we can go down. Brock. I mean, we can go down it. We can go down a list. But hey, we got the number 1 draft pick. We're gonna draft Fernando Mendoza. Do I think that he is the truth? We're gonna get into it. Stay tuned. Because trust me, I am a diehard Raiders fan, but I'm also a fan of football, and I also am an analyst of the game, and I'm going to get into this. Because there is a significance with Geno Smith being released from my team. But shout out to you, Roro, bro. Love you, homie. Real talk, fam. Hope all is well with you, you know what I'm saying, and your family, fam. Real talk. So let's continue to see what he's got to say. Mitchell Rentz. Let's rewind it back.
On from quarterback Geno Smith. We knew that this was going to be a move that ends up going down. The Las Vegas Raiders end up saving $8 million by moving on from Geno Smith. And unfortunately for Mark Davis, he's going to have to eat $18.5 million. Geno Smith made it very clear to Raider Nation back in November when he flipped all of us off that he didn't want to be a part of this organization. I had members of the Smith family tell me he didn't want to be a part of this organization. I know that there was some speculation that the Raiders could potentially keep Geno, but Geno didn't want to stay in Vegas, and we as Raiders fans didn't want to keep Geno Smith around. So now,
and I have to agree with what Mitchell Rentz just said, because that's something that I've been pushing. A lot of people have been telling me, like, oh, you know what I'm saying, it'll probably be good to keep Geno, you know what I'm saying, as a backup, because, you know, he's a veteran presence for Fernando Mendoza. But it's just like, when you're talking about veteran presence, if I'm coming in, I'm just keeping it real, and I'm grown now, y'all. But if I'm coming in and I made it to a certain position that somebody that's damn near, I don't know, 13 years older than me, that's been in that position for quite some time but has not been successful, try to tell me how to be successful, but he hasn't produced successful results. Like, what are we talking about? I would rather listen to somebody who's been in that position that I just got into, that's produced successful results in the matter of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, like Patrick Mahomes. You understand? So when we're talking about veteran presence, a lot of media, mainstream media, try to paint that, okay, he has 10 years, so he's a veteran. He's a good example to learn from. That's not the case. No, a good example to learn from is somebody who's been successful. And people got to stop all that, man. Let's just keep it 100, man. right? So I agree. You know what I'm saying? With Mitchell Rentz. Hey, good riddance. Real talk. Let's continue.
Now he's going to hit the open market. He's going to go elsewhere. And as it stands, the Raiders only have Aiden O'Connell essentially on this roster. They're going to draft Fernando Mendoza. Expect the Raiders to also sign a quarterback this offseason. For more news and updates, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give me a follow.
And make sure you do subscribe. Shout out, man. Real talk right here. Shout out to Raiders Report, Mitchell Rentz, man. You understand? I've been following him and watching him for years. You know what I'm saying? He's like my number one guy that I go to. I'm just going to keep it 100, bro. Dude be on it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And his team. But he did mention Aiden O'Connell, and this is something that I want to talk about is that, you know what I'm saying, with the release of Geno Smith, we do have Aiden O'Connell still on the roster. And a lot of people overlook Aiden O'Connell, but we got to keep it 100. My Las Vegas Raiders, and I hate to say that because y'all know I'm from Oakland. Let's go, man. Real talk. You feel me? But I still support my team. You feel me? But with good protection, Aiden O'Connell has shown himself to be a very, very decent backup quarterback. I'm not going to say starter. I'm going to say backup. I've seen it in the preseason. I've seen it, you know what I'm saying, dealing with, you know what I'm saying, injuries with Jimmy Garoppolo, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? We've seen these things. So he didn't get a playing time this year because of the contract and the money that we were paying Geno Smith. So with him being released, it does, yes, we are in a bind. Geno is still getting paid. And let's just go over the contract because he did talk about that, right? So as we look at the contract, right, look at this, right? Now, one thing I want y'all to look at is look what Geno posted 9 hours ago. Let's see this next what this next year 6 years has to offer. God is real. I mean, so if we actually look, he's talking about 6 years, guys. I mean, let's just keep it 100. But if we look at Geno Smith, y'all, he's been in the league already since 2013. The guy's 35. He's talking about 6 years. That's 41 years old. What are we talking about? You are not at that type of talent to be speaking this type of way after what you just displayed for my team. Go home. Now, as we look at his stats, dealing with, you know what I'm saying, for my Raiders last year, now some will see this as decent, okay? 3,025 yards, 19 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. And the 17 interceptions, guys, really highlights why his QBR was 34-1, right? 34.1, which was 27th overall in the league. We're talking about you're on the bottom tier. You're an ass quarterback as far as what's going on, as far as what you produced this season. The fuck you talking about? Excuse my language, y'all. But it's just crazy, right? You started the entire season. Don't give me any excuse. I know, guys, that my offensive line was not that good, but we're talking about Pete Carroll, and it's unfortunate that Pete Carroll had to be the one to take the downfall for this guy's play. I mean, what are we talking about? Let's look at it. The inconsistency, right? Let's scroll in a little bit. Look at the inconsistency, guys. Okay, so we go to week 1. We're talking about, okay, you get a win. And I was hyped. Trust me, guys, I was making videos. I was making shorts. I was making memes, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I was doing it all season, every single week. And it started off because of this first week. We're talking about the team that's in the Super Bowl. We beat 20-13. What did Geno do? 362 yards, 70% completion percentage, right? 1 touchdown, 1 interception, right? Manage the game. That's what I call game managing. And I will say this, but he was sacked 4 times. Okay, but look at the quarterback rating. right? Rating here and even the QBR, right? 102 in the QBR 71. All right. Even gave us 2 rushes, you know what I'm saying, for 5 yards, which were on crucial plays in that game. So this wasn't an amazing game because Shador Sanders didn't put up better numbers than this. But this was the best game that we got from Geno Smith all year, besides the game that we lost to Jacksonville in overtime, which he threw for 284 yards right here, right? 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. But that interception was very crucial. And this was the same thing that he did in Seattle, guys. And I seen it. This is the same thing that, you know what I'm saying, my friends who are diehard Seahawk fans used to complain about. And I used to be on the outside because, you know, I didn't care. I'm a Raider fan. I seen it. But I just didn't want the Seahawks to win. That year that Geno had they try to write me off. Did we forget about that? Right? I mean, what are we talking about? Look at this. Right? Y'all remember this? I guess it's safe to say you did, in fact, write back. This is what Chris says. This is a great reply because he said they wrote me off. I ain't write back, though. Well, guess what? We wrote back and we released you because we're not playing these type of games. Because here at Raider Nation, it's hard work, dedication. Shout out to Sonny Bo. And you better make sure, you know what I'm saying, that you come with it because the foundation was already established all the way back from Al Davis, rest in peace, which is just win, baby. We don't give a damn about all that talk. Just win. That's why when it comes to fights, we're undefeated when it comes to the Raiders. But we're undefeated in the fights, but somehow we can't translate that to wins. But with everything that's happened and transpired, and with Fernando Mendoza coming in, Clint Kubiak coming in, there's a lot of things that's cooking with my Raiders right now. And with us releasing Geno Smith, this definitely, even though the fact we're still paying him, it gives a lot of confidence, you know what I'm saying, to Fernando Mendoza, who we're going to draft at number 1. It gives a lot of confidence to Aiden O'Connell, who is a backup now, who I would put as a solid backup number 2. And what I would do is bring a veteran in who can just be a veteran presence, you know what I'm saying, that's had maybe like a likes of a Joe Flacco. I don't know if he retired yet. I haven't looked into it. Bring a Joe Flacco in there as the 3rd string quarterback. Right? Bring a Cam Newton as our 3rd string quarterback. Just in case something happens, because we have a lot of holes that we have to fill as far as dealing with our offensive line. And I got to keep that 100. Let me check the comments for a minute. You know what I'm saying? All praise in the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Hey, real talk. You know what I'm saying? To my aunties, Avia Barak. It's good to see you up on here. Right? Earth Healing Angel, my other auntie. I love you. All praise in the Most High. Patrick Ferris, man, you talking about trash ass Geno when we lost Mad Max? Hey, look. It is what it is. It is what it is. Unless you're saying that's breaking news, because I'm about to talk about this. Patrick Ferris, is this breaking news? Because I literally looked into everything. We haven't lost Max Crosby yet. What you talking about? You said they bringing in Derek Carr as far as dealing with for a backup for a veteran presence. I hope so. That would be a good. You know what? That's a good comment. Shout out to Patrick Ferris. That's a good comment. That's who I will bring in as a veteran presence as far as for quarterback, because it's definitely not this guy, right? And that's the answer, is what Patrick Ferris said, is to bring in Derek Carr, right? That's the answer, right? Shout out to Patrick Ferris, you know what I'm saying? And if you're a Raider fan, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Raiders! Don't get it twisted, man. Don't get it twisted, bro. Y'all know how I am about my team. I show up to a stadium and troll the entire stadium. it's on wax. Said they're looking. We're gonna talk about that. I knew it didn't happen yet. We're gonna talk about. See, shout out to my brothers and my sisters. You know what I'm saying? Who's out there? Who's paying attention? You know what I'm saying, to what's going on, because this is the most exciting time. Is the off season, because now we talking business. Because it's business that's what's going to dictate who's going to win. You understand? So they're looking to trade him for a second and first for two first round picks to the Ravens. There's a lot of things there's a lot of teams that's bringing in a lot of things as far as dealing with Max Crosby. Max Crosby is the hottest free agent that's on the market. And we have the number one pick. I mean, what are we talking about? We got the hottest free agent on the market, and we have the number one pick. If we're not the talk of this offseason, I don't know what else to say. Come on, man. What we talking about? But as you guys see, this is that type of attitude, which is that Geno had, which is why he's out of here, y'all. Look at this. They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though, because he had somewhat of a good season with Seattle. But let's really look at his stats. Keep in mind, guys, that this year that the Seattle Seahawks had probably the top 5 offensive line in the NFL overall. We can go deeper. But for time's sakes, y'all can go look up that yourselves. But guaranteed top 5. Especially going into the postseason. We're talking about passing rating, 93.2. Very solid. This is his best year in his career, guys, which he won Comeback Player of the Year. 4,320 yards, 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I mean, but look at this. I want you guys to put with the modern day NFL, because this was just only a few years ago. So this is modern day NFL. With a solid offensive line, could you guys see a top 5 NFL upcoming draft pick at quarterback put up these type numbers? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can see that, or put a 2 in the chat if you say no. With the modern day NFL, we're talking 4,320 yards, 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions behind a very good top 5 offensive line. What are we talking about? Oh, you damn right I'm hating on Geno. Shout out to my brother. Yeah, I'm like you now. I understand what you was telling me, bro. Big bro. Now I understand what you was saying to me a year ago, a year and a half ago. Now I didn't understand then. And you was telling me, you was like, man, I'm trying to tell you, man. That's what my bro said. When he's real serious, nobody uses the word man as emphatic as my brother. Man, I was telling you, man. No. Listen, man. He's trash. That's what he was telling me. And I didn't listen because of the deception of the fact that I wasn't realizing that the Seattle Seahawks offensive line was possibly even better than the offensive line that led them to the Super Bowl this year. I mean, what are we talking about? Right? But we got those ones in the chat. Right? They feel that this can be done by a rookie behind this same type of offensive line. So to be chanting, right, and being all in a non, I want y'all to look at this, right? I want y'all to look at this. Because this is what he's known for, right? They pay me the big bucks. This was after his season at Seattle.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. That's why I get paid the big bucks. That's why they bring the big bucks to me. That's why they pay me the big bucks, nigga. I do it. That's why they pay me the big bucks. That's why they pay me the big bucks. That's why I get paid the big bucks. That's why they bring the big bucks to me. That's why they pay me the big bucks, nigga. I do it.
No, let me look.
That's why they
Look,
pay me
y'all.
the big bucks.
Before I say something, let me just say this because, hey, hey, I'm not gonna say too much about Geno in that clip because at the end of the day, he's saying that because my team was dumb enough to pay him the big bucks. Am I lying? My team was dumb enough to pay him the big bucks. Which is why he's out there in some little league during the offseason yelling at other little league coach. I don't know what this is. This is not the NFL. You're a quarterback. What are you doing? You should be in the offseason working on your game. Sharp tuning your skills. Getting with your offensive coordinator. Trying to figure out the offense. Getting with your offensive linemen. Maybe take them out to dinner since you say they pay you the big bucks. Get some camaraderie. What are we talking about? No, and this is why you have to go. This is why you have to go. Right? I ain't feel no love either, auntie. Real talk. What are we talking about? I ain't feel no love dealing from that clip. You number one, y'all know me. Y'all know me. Y'all know I analyze certain situations. I'm looking at who's around, right? What type of people? What are we? He's trying to calm you down, bro. But everybody else that I see around is your people. Who are you really yelling at? Your own people who are really out there that love the young kids? Because clearly this is some younger kids. You're not a college coach. This has some. What are we talking about? That's why they pay you the big bucks. And who's that they that he's talking about, y'all? My Las Vegas Raiders. But guess what? He's gone. He's gone. And now with him being gone, guys, even though we're still paying him, right? And let's get into this, right? I want y'all to look at this too, right? So this is from Adam Schefter. All right. So Adam Schefter breaks out and says that the Raiders are releasing starting quarterback from last season, Geno Smith, bearing a trade before the start of the new league year, sources tell. Right. But it's actually official. This was from 11 hours ago. It's actually official now. So by releasing Geno Smith, the Raiders will open up $8 million in salary cap space, which we have some cap space, but while taking on an $18.5 million in dead money. So with that, it's like it just gives us a little bit more, I would say about, again, just $8 million, yo. That's about it because of how much we're paying, as reported. So with that $8 million, we can definitely reel in some help as far as dealing with the offensive line. Maybe even dealing with, in the defensive back positions, because we definitely need help there as far as in the cornerback position specifically. We have decent safeties. We have decent full safeties. We need help in the defense in the cornerback position. So we'll see what the Raiders are going to do as far as dealing with my squad. But they're definitely making a splash and the hottest team as far as dealing with this offseason. And when I talk about why I'm excited as far as this release, it's stuff like this. Let's just look at this.
Trey Tucker, someone's going to find a spark.
Let's just look at this, right? Look at this. You tell me if he's open. Who are you throwing it to? That's why they pay me the big bucks. We was 1-3 at this time. If you guys go follow me, on TikTok, just go search, Zam. I'm remixing Boys to Men, right? We're back, which is just crazy work. All because of Geno. Geno. That's all I was saying. But he had such a good offensive line in Seattle that he would come back and throw 2 or 3 touchdowns or throw about like as if he's going to get another contract. I'm not lying. Look, he says it right here. Let's see what the next 6 years has to offer. God is real. Well, that God is a capital G, lowercase o, and a lowercase d. That word God, according to the Hebrew, is a power, not the Most High God. So that God is dealing with actual government. So let's see what the government or the powers of the NFL decide. Because as far as what you put out, as far as what we can see, dealing with your career stats says for over 13 years in the league that you've only put up, as far as yards, from what I see, I mean, 3,000, 25 for his whole 13 years. 19 touchdowns, 17 interceptions his whole year. I mean, actually, no, this, I'm sorry. Let me not say that. It's 22,000. Sorry. Let's just pull it up. Here it is. Right? No, not that one. I want this. Right? Let me get this. Let's pull up his career stats, yo. I swear I'm gonna find it. Let's just go here. Let's see if we can find it. Let's look at his career. Where is it at? It's got to be here. Here it is. Look at this. 20,000. 13 years. 22,000 basically, y'all. That's what we're talking. 124 touchdowns, 89 interceptions. Now, the rating will say 87.5, but where is look at the QBR. If we look at the last, since we had this stat, QBR is now coming into play. QBR is terrible. So if we was to get a career QBR, it would have to be looking at these numbers here. I mean, we're talking about 41, 45, 56, 26. I'm over here, y'all. 39. Oh, you got 1 year. I mean, 0.7. I mean, what are we talking about? And for my Raiders last year, 34.1. As far as quarterback rating, you've put out 22,000 because you're what they would call a lone ranger. You say the right things to the GMs to keep you in there. I give you that. But that's why they pay you the big bucks. Make sure that you say that specifically. They pay you the big bucks because you suck up to the GMs, because your quarterback play clearly is not why they are paying you the big bucks. So good riddance. And hey, shout out to Geno Smith, man. I would do the same thing he did if I was in his position and I wasn't putting up those numbers. I would literally, you know what I'm saying? Just, hey, let me get my bread and get up on out of here and flip everybody off, because that's exactly what he does. He did it to Seattle. He did it to my Raiders. So if he did it to my Raiders, y'all know I feel a certain way. So let's see what, you know what I'm saying? We heard what Rentz had to say. Let's see what Adam Schefter had to say.
For the hour, Kevin Clark, Jeremy Fowler, Tim Hasselbeck here with Adam, of course. And Kevin, I'll start with you. You heard some of the destinations there that are quarterback needy teams. Where do you think makes sense for Geno Smith?
Yeah, good news and bad news for Geno Smith. The good news is you can explain some of this away last year with the fact that it was a hopeless situation, okay? The bad news is the destinations you can go to, also hopeless situations. The New York Jets, where your mission, if you choose to accept it, is frankly job preservation. And in Miami, might be to get Arch Manning. That might be your job if you become the quarterback there. So he was by far the most sacked quarterback in football last year. He had a run game that was stuffed at the line far more than anybody else in football. So this was a tough situation for Geno Smith. I think in a different system with different coaches and different talent around him, he could have had a good year last year. That just wasn't in the cards. He didn't play well. He made mistakes. He is going to be on the second or even third tier of available quarterbacks. You're looking at Jets or Dolphins at best if he wants to start.
I think that's a great point that was made, that he's looking at the Jets or the Dolphins moving forward as far as for his future now that he's been released. And the reason being is this, because when you actually think about as far as like who is actually looking to be the potential starters of at quarterback position for every single NFL team, right? If I was to kind of go off the top of my head, I would just give you guys this. Right. And let's just deal with the AFC East. We're talking about the likes of, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the likes of Josh Allen, right? At the Buffalo Bills, right? Starting off at the AFC East, right? And I'm just going to go down the list, you know what I'm saying, from the top of my dome, right? So y'all bear with me, right? So in the AFC East, you got Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, right? I believe the New England Patriots, New York Jets. So out of the Buffalo Bills, we know it's going to be Josh Allen. What are we talking about? Now, as far as like the Miami Dolphins, you still have Malik Willis out there. We don't know if they're going to stay with Tua Tagovailoa, right? I can see him as a third wing, and maybe Quinn Ewers moving up to maybe that second, probably in that second, you know what I'm saying, backup position, and maybe them bring in the likes of a Malik Willis, right? Then you got the New England Patriots. And I can definitely see Drake May. Of course, he led them to the Super Bowl. Whoever's after that, it really doesn't matter. So again, there's plenty of backup positions that's open for Geno Smith. But as far as starting positions, I mean, you got the New York Jets. They're going to probably stick with Justin Fields or probably go to the likes of Kyler Murray for the fact that he's open now, right? AFC North is locked up. Let's just keep it 100. Lamar Jackson at the Baltimore Ravens, right? Joe Burrow at the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Shedeur Sanders, I don't care if people don't like it. Shedeur as a starter, 12, baby. You understand? She told me bust down my AP. Perfect timing. Y'all know that's my guy. Deshaun Watson is at the backup. It's an open quarterback position between Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. So there's no room for the likes of Geno Smith. Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, that's a different situation depending on what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. You understand? It depends. But Russell Wilson's still there, right? Maybe they go and get Kenny Pickett and bring him back. You never know. But that's an open position. That could be a likes of a Geno Smith is at the Pittsburgh Steelers. You never know, right? So that's one. But as they move to the AFC South, y'all, right, as I'm thinking, Houston Texans. Okay, CJ Stroud, right? Okay, cool. Indianapolis Colts. You still have Anthony Richardson coming off an injury, right? Jacksonville Jaguars. That's locked up with Trevor Lawrence, especially the year they had. Looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Travis Hunter coming back, right? And now focusing more on the defensive position. Maybe they look to draft another receiver, you know what I'm saying, in this draft, right? The Tennessee Titans. I mean, hey, y'all, it's Cam Ward's position. What are we talking about? All right, and then the Denver Broncos, hey, it's set in stone. I like Jarrett Stidham. Whether y'all liked what he put out, as a backup quarterback in a position like that, in the playoffs with that magnitude, right? Not having that many reps as far as dealing in the game. I like what I saw from Jarrett Stidham. And with Bo Nix coming back from injury, we know what Bo Nix is about. He's gritty, right? He's got that dog in him. Whether people like his game or not, he's got that dog. He reminds me of a Tim Tebow with a better arm. That's what he reminds me of. A Tim Tebow with a better arm, more accuracy, right? So best believe the Broncos are still number one right now in the AFC West. even though I see my Raiders coming up to be number 2, right? This is why I see my Raiders. I predicted my team to go at least 10-7 or 11-6 into next season if Fernando Mendoza starts, and I'll explain. And, guys, Kansas City, Patrick, we don't know what's going to happen. Patrick Mahomes is coming off injury, so that could be an open position for Geno Smith to come in and actually, be at the backup. But no, you're not starting there. And we've gotten rid of you. So as far as the Chargers is concerned in the AFC West, no, that's locked up with Herbert. So that leads you to the NFC, and we know, guys, that's all locked up. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe the Dolphins, like stated, maybe. But other than that, the Seahawks locked up, bro. Sam Darnold probably cemented himself as top 5 quarterback in the league. Brock Purdy still cemented there at the Niners. Matthew Stafford has not retired, so no. Right? Baker Mayfield locked, ready to go. Tyler Shuck for the Saints locked, ready to go. Bryce Young for the Panthers, locked, ready to go. Now, the Falcons is interesting because there's a situation dealing with Kevin Stefanski right now where he's receiving his karma, guys, to where I can see him looking into somebody in the likes of Geno Smith. We're talking about a veteran. We know that Kevin Stefanski loves his veterans. So I can possibly see the likes of the Atlanta Falcons looking into Geno Smith. And to be honest, with what they have right now, I don't even think the Falcons would be mad if they were to make that move. And maybe even the Vikings, because we've seen what we've seen from J.J. McCarthy. So there are some open positions. But as far as 6 years is concerned, that's not happening. Right? That's not happening whatsoever. Right? So let's get back to this. Right? Let's get back to this.
For the hour, Kevin Clark, Jeremy Fowler, Tim Hasselbeck here with Adam, of course. And Kevin, I'll start with you. You heard some of the destinations there that are quarterback needy teams. Where do you think makes sense for Geno Smith?
Yeah,
breaking news. Hold on.
The good news is you can
breaking news. Let's look for it. Breaking news. Could this be breaking news? Right? Could this be breaking news? Let's look. Let's look it up. Let's see what's trending, y'all. Let's see what's trending. And it is. Shout out to my brother, Joshua the Levi. You see that? And that's what we do here at Zam Sports, right? So this is breaking news. And you heard it here first at Zam Sports. Raiders trading Max Crosby to the Ravens. Now, let's see what the details is. This is actually reported from ESPN. So we know if it's reported from ESPN, it is actually said and done. The Raiders are trading 5-time Pro Bowl defensive end Max Crosby to Baltimore Ravens in exchange for a 2026 and a 2027 first-round picks. That's good, right? The trade cannot be processed until next week, but it is in place, and Crosby is expected to be a Raven with 2 firsts. Let's look more. 2 firsts back to Vegas. Okay. You guys are getting my reactions. You guys are getting my emotions as we're seeing more news. It is official. Adam Schefter reported. All right. We're getting 2 first-round draft picks. You're seeing my reactions, and I'm mixed with my emotions right now because of the fact that there was not a player that was not included in this trade. The Baltimore Ravens definitely won in this trade, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why they won in this trade. They still have Lamar Jackson. And this is the missing piece to the Baltimore Ravens as far as what they already have constructed on defense. They've been at the quarterback, guys. But when you look at the Baltimore Ravens, as far as when they were in winning seasons, guys, you know what I'm saying? And when they were producing things, as far as Super Bowl seasons, there was always a strong outside linebacker or a linebacker of some sort. Now, I know that he's listed as a defensive end, but I can see them moving him to the linebacker position on outside linebacker. That's what I see. And this is major. And I want to say shout out to Max Crosby. And I want to say thank you to everything that you've done for my organization because you deserve to go play for a winner. But what's unfortunate, Max Crosby, is that I'm a diehard Raider fan. We're going to retire your jersey. You're going to go play for a winner. But what you're going to realize, Max Crosby, is that we going to be winners next year. You understand? Don't get it twisted, man. We going to be winners next year. Shout out to my brother, man, for bringing this news out. You understand? Said it was Bez. Of course, my insider. Shout out to my brother Bez. I'm probably not even on my phone. Where's my phone? I bet you Bez text me. Hold on. He's my sports insider. I didn't have my look at that. We're not playing no games. My sports insider. I didn't have my phone. Shout out to my sports insider Bez, man. Real talk. 24/7. Night and day. Don't get it twisted. Put those ones in the chat, you know what I'm saying, for Bez, you know what I'm saying, and my brother Josh, man. Real talk, man. Nope, not booze. Put those ones in the chat. Sports insider in this junk. So we lost Max Crosby. So what does this mean? This means a lot for my Raiders. And I'm going to explain why. I still feel that the Ravens won that trade because a player was not involved. I would have liked to seen maybe a likes of a slot receiver thrown into the equation, an offensive lineman thrown into the equation, because I do know that Tyler Linderbaum, I believe that's his name. I do know that the offensive lineman of the Ravens is also going to be a free agent. So hopefully we can reel him in. If we can maybe reel in the likes of a name of that stature at the offensive line position, then this would be a win for us in the trade. But if we don't get a big name offensive lineman going into this free agency, giving up Max Crosby, this could be bad for my Raiders because we don't have anybody on the defensive end that can fill in the holes in the position that he brings. And even with what he does, which is everything for my team on the defensive end, we're still mediocre on defense, guys. So it looks like with Clint Kubiak coming in, it looks like we're really going more on the offensive end. And this is why I said that I feel that my team can finish in the likes of a 10-7 or an 11-6 because of the offensive firepower that we still have. But this is breaking news, guys. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I love the chat, man. You understand? Shout out to the chat, man. Put those ones in the chat for everybody that's watching right now. Because you got to celebrate, man. You got to celebrate for my team. I'm going to keep my head up on this. I'm not going to lie, y'all. I kind of want to cry, bro. I ain't going to lie. Don't laugh at me, bro. I want to cry, bro. I'm going to lie, bro. Like, I'm going to miss you, Max Crosby, bro. Oh, mamas, bro. I'm going to miss you, bro. I need a whole day, bro. I need a whole day, yo. I need a whole, like, you understand? I need a whole, like, 14. I just need 14 hours, bro. I need 14 hours to process this because I just got this news now. As we are speaking of my Raiders right now, Max Crosby gone, bro. Should I be happy? Should I be sad, bro? What's going on, bro? Max Crosby gone, y'all. He went to the Ravens. Do they need him? Y'all need, I guess. But we need him. I don't know how to feel. I mean, what we gonna draft? I guess this is, you know what? Now I'm thinking. See, I'm going back and forth. Now I'm thinking. I said it earlier on my previous episode. Malachi Fields, y'all. Malachi Fields. Because he definitely exploded, you know what I'm saying, in the Senior Bowl. we're definitely going to get a receiver. Maybe we can get the likes of a Carnell Tate. I mean, that could be possible with this trade, but they don't have a high draft pick. So, I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. But shout out to you, Max Crosby. Probably top 3 defensive players in the league. If y'all didn't know, that's who this man is. Definitely top 3 defensive players in the league. Over the last, I want to say probably 5 years. Let's just keep it 100. But yeah, he's out of here, man. He's out of here. So that answers a lot of questions, right? And I was actually going to, touch in on Max Crosby on the latest. But hey, man, it came out. You know what I'm saying? As we see Max Crosby, clearly he made that decision, right? As this was posted way back then, as rumors was floating around, this is how he was living. You know what I'm saying? And, it must be nice, right? So, hey, the future of Max Crosby, man, is over with, right? I was going to have some other stuff be played, but hey, it's said and done. But Geno Smith is out of here. So what does that mean? Hey, us as Raiders, man, we got to draft, y'all. We got to draft. We got the first number 1 overall pick. We get Fernando Mendoza. And we go in the free agency and we build up our offensive line. And now we have released Geno Smith. That gives us about $8 million more in cap space. Yes, we're still paying him, but we have more in cap space. We can get some defensive backs, cornerbacks. And now with the trade of Max Crosby, and I miss you, Max Crosby, but with the trade of Max Crosby, we got some draft picks now, right? We got some draft picks now. We can get another receiver, for Fernando Mendoza, to throw to. Maybe even the receiver that he threw to in the national championship. So with that being said, it's another episode of Zam Sports. I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me. Make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all that are just new to this channel. I'm new as far as dealing with this channel. Let's grow together, right? Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Also drop in the comment section. Let me know your prediction in the comment section. What you think that the record of my team is going to be, the Las Vegas Raiders, going into next season with what's going on. Put it in the comment section and let me know. With that being said, peace and blessings to everybody. Gone.